Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of The Watch Collector. My name's Ollie. Today we're looking at a brand called Schwarz Etienne. Before we get into it, obligatory wrist watch check. I'm wearing the Rolex Submariner Hulk. Schwarz Etienne has history, but some of you may not know it. Formed in La Chaux-de-Fonds in 1902 by Paul Schwartz and Olga Etienne, a couple, they actually had some incredible success over the following 70 to 80 years, including forming partnerships with well-known household labels such as Chanel, Caran d'Ache and Dunhill. As many brands did with the inception of the quartz movement, they started to struggle a little bit, and they were reacquired by their current owner in 2007. And it was as a result of that they really got reinvented and reinvigorated, bringing back that Schwarz Etienne name. Today we're looking at the Roma model. They go for between £22,000 and £25,000 plus VAT, depending on the version that we've got. And the one I'm holding in my hands right now is the Roma Terracotta limited edition. It's stainless steel, 39 millimeters, and we'll talk about the size. Size always matters. 39 millimeters with, as you can see, a beautiful salmon main and subdial surrounded by what is a very, very delicate grey. I'm a big fan of this colorway. I love the combination of almost like titanium look with the very pinkish salmon color that they've applied to this. So as I mentioned, 39 millimeters, 50-meter water resistance. But on top of the color configuration of this piece, the real draw is it's a collaboration, just as with the blue one, which we'll move on to shortly, with Kari Voutilainen, the Finnish master watchmaker, who has applied, shall we say, his magical touch to both of these pieces and the model, the Roma model in general. So hopefully it's going to come out on here. The way that they've done the finishing is extremely delicate but punchy equally. It's a real testament, I would say, to the decision to collaborate with certain individuals is so important. And I think they've just got this absolutely bang on. The fact you have the stepped lugs to the case gives it an added extra sort of feeling of width and size, but without making it overly pronounced. Plus, you've got the beveling and the stepped nature, not only of the edges of the lugs, but also the edges of the bezel. It gives it a presence, plays with the light, but again, equally, what it allows the watch to do is move with you as you are going to throw it on the wrist, which I will do shortly. Before we do that, let's throw it on the other side so we can have a look at the movement. Hopefully that's going to come out there. I mean, it's just stunning. This sunburst engraving of the base plate is spectacular, and as you can see, you've got a micro rotor. It's really difficult to get a micro rotor to work efficiently. It's much easier to have a full-size rotor. That's why so few manufacturers actually do it. But Schwarz Etienne is one of the few manufacturers that actually does their movements completely in-house. And it's, as I think you probably agree, a super fine, absolute autorology standard finish to this movement. And on top of that, it's 86 hours in power reserve, which once again, for a micro rotor powered movement, is superb. Let's throw it on the wrist, see how it wears. First of all, love the strap. It's a suede nubuck combination, extremely supple, really kind of bends around the wrist. I like that a lot. Now, you've seen my other videos, 39mm sometimes wears a bit small for me. However, I think because you've got those pronounced lugs, you can get away with it. And it's on this version, of course, it's the arresting nature and contrast between the salmon and the grey on the outside of the dial that really draws your eyes. So to a certain extent, the size almost plays second fiddle. It's light, as I mentioned, stainless steel, especially with that with the strap. Very nicely done, deploying clasp. Overall, big fan of this model. Then you have the blue. This is a much more subtle version. You're potentially not going to instantly recognize this as a Schwarz Etienne. Some people will say that's a good thing. Some people may actually want something that's a bit more arresting. But overall, I think the color is very nicely judged. It's an interesting blue. It gives you a play, especially compared with the stainless steel and the mirrored finishing on the hands, that actually gives a very kind of elegant, classy look. It's a very different impression you're going to create with this watch than you do with the terracotta. So if we throw this one on the wrist, oddly enough, and I'd love to know what you think, but because you don't have the contrast, it seems to me that actually this watch visually appears to be larger on the wrist than the terracotta. Maybe that's just my eyes playing with me, but it does. That's what that says to me. And it feels like it's wearing slightly larger than the 39mm. And of course, it's exactly the same. That's interesting, isn't it? And oddly enough, I thought that I would prefer the terracotta on the wrist. I almost prefer this one. I love the strap, and on top of that, I think I probably prefer the strap on this. Even though it's a calf leather as opposed to suede, it still has a suppleness. It's got, but at the same time, very nice bolstering, deploying clasp. All of a sudden, I think this would be my pick of the two. I wasn't expecting myself to say that. They released the blue in a limited edition of 50, and there's also another edition in grey, which is also 50. So across the three versions, blue, grey, and the terracotta, 120 pieces. Overall, what you're doing is you're buying into a genuine piece of heritage that combines the I guess, Germanic, Swiss, French combination all in one. It's extremely elegant, very nice finishing, plus you've got that collaboration with Kari Voutilainen. Overall, even at 39mm, I'm a fan. That's enough from me. Thanks so much for joining. Would love to know what you think about the size. Would love to know what you think about that combination with Kari Voutilainen. And until the next time, thanks for joining.